Aloha, everyone. It's been a long minute since I've given an opportunity to share my story and to really share about my journey in regards to health and getting myself back on track financially and sharing about just my passion for helping others in basically in the last 18 plus years to really understand, their own journey back to health and wellness. And also just, I really find myself lately on a mission to help women in particular to really strengthen the foundation in which they stand upon in regards to their financial health as well, because I certainly was on the other end of that for quite some time. And I definitely have just found something that has truly benefited the life of myself, the life of others, definitely the life of my son. So I'm super happy to be here today. I promise I won't take more than 15 minutes. I'm going to share a couple of photos and slides to help to reinforce all of the goodness that I learned along the way. But going back to my story, I am Kamaile Puaoi. I am from Kailua on the island of Oahu, where I was born and raised here. I definitely have been an artisan and in healing ways, healing spaces for quite some time, pretty much all my life, and have always dabbled and been fascinated by the health of our brain, the health of our gut, because that was definitely something that plagued me all my life, was not having sufficient gut health. And of course, all my stress that I had really incurred throughout my life would end up showing up in my gut. And as most of you know, and if some of you who don't know, our gut is actually likened to be our second brain. So that obviously played an effect in my emotional, mental, and oftentimes physical well-being, because I didn't have the energy that I quite needed to really do all of the wonderful things that I wanted to do. And of course, when we're young, we think we can conquer the world. I think at the age of 20, I was, set off to the mainland away from Hawaii and looking to really make a difference in the world in one way or another. And over time, I was brought back here to Hawaii and found myself really kind of definitely searching after I lost a really good job. I was searching for who I was and wanted to define, what my next path was. And that was after 9/11. I had been working in a hotel type setting, and I thought I had my career all planned out in food and beverage. I was going to be at the top. I was going to be running, the restaurant chains, et cetera, et cetera. And I was surely to be on my way as I was in those managerial positions. However, like that, I was let go. Literally years and years and years of service and dedication and just almost 80 hours sometimes as a manager I would be putting in. And was I making all the money? No, my servers were the one that was cashing in at the end of the night. And I thought to myself, well, one, it was like the best time of my life. I got to surf and collect unemployment, but that was the time where I really reflected and went within. And that's when I really turned to understanding not only my Hawaiian heritage in the healing aspects of life and to really further that love, but also to know and understand myself that I could actually dive into a modality of helping others, and to also make a living, because don't we want to all do a little bit of both, right? So that's what started my journey long ago, like I said, about 18 plus years ago. But it was around 4 years ago that I found myself in a very unhealthy relationship. I was older at the time and truly just wanted to have a child. I was blessed finally with having that opportunity. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm positive and I've got my mindset and I'm good. And, I just thought that things would actually naturally evolve and change into a loving family, supportive, role with two parents coming together and helping and, just raising a wonderful child. And that would be it. Well, unbeknownst my ability to foresee the future, I didn't realize that, or maybe even come to grips with what was right in front of my face at the time, was that I was living with an alcoholic addict, and he was making choices that was certainly affecting my health, my mental health, my emotional health, as well as it was dribbling and trickling on to the health of our newly born son, in regards to just the amount of stress that was put on me financially. Oh my goodness. Uh, you know, uh, Financially, meaning he was spending majority of our income, and so therefore all of the little bits of healthy foods definitely went to the baby. And I, as mothers do, take a back seat to what we need in order to provide for the health of our loved ones and our family. And so, long story short, I was in a position where my son was able to go to preschool, and I was looking for something to dive back into. And I have been an entrepreneur pretty much all my life, whether it was providing massage services and owning my own business. I definitely dabbled into the arts after that, knowing that I wanted to create some sort of leveraged income. If I made a product, somebody else eventually could make it and sell it, and I could just kick back and market it and collect the money. That was the ideal thing. I was always set up to have that, like, I need leverage to help me to really enjoy my time. And that's certainly one thing I was not about to give up, being a newly found mom at the age of 43. I was like, there's no way anybody else is raising my child. So again, I got him into preschool, and I was able to actually once again try to rack my brain. I was literally praying, like, how can I turn this booming gig economy with influencer marketing and all these things that were happening on Instagram and Facebook. And I was just like, if I could just monetize the efforts of people so that they could actually help me to sell my details and sell my my artistry and in the things that I made here in Hawaii, I could probably have a viable business. Well, at the very same time that was happening, like I said, my health was declining. I was financially just literally on the brink of filing bankruptcy. I was depressed. My business was actually nowhere near I needed to be to actually pour the money into making this happen. Well, at that time, a couple of girlfriends had reached out to me, and I've been following them on Facebook. I kind of knew what was up. I was like, you're talking about this herb and that herb and whatever. Like, I grow my own herbs. I've been practicing la'au lapa'au, which is Hawaiian medicinal herbs, for quite some time. I know the valleys in which to pick them. I know, many, many different things about healing. And I was like, they think they're onto something new. Well, little did I know that the one, I think it was fifth or sixth time that they had invited me to come and take a look at some information, that little did they know, I should say, is I was deeply, deeply saddened and yearning for a sense of community. And I said to my then partner, I need to go and take some time to just be away from you and our son for the night. And I'm just going to go. I was like, I'm going to go have a cocktail. I'm going to go have a glass of wine with the ladies. And I was like, I literally sat in the back of the room and had my arms crossed. And by the end of the evening, because of what I heard, because I was so fascinated in ways to make myself feel better, to have more energy as a mom, to get out of my depressive slump that, life kind of dragged me through, over time, just when our goals aren't met or our dreams, aren't, we quite aren't where we thought we would be in life. And I know that so many of you can relate. And so by the end of the evening, when I heard what was going on with the combination of these 5 beautiful herbs that have been used indigenously, literally for centuries. And I was like, but the way that they were talking to each other and they were coming together in this beautiful synergistic blend, that I found out that night, that was what was powerful. That was what was different about what they had been sharing. And instead of supplementing what we're deficient in, this is how I show people now. And instead of that food going in that back door of that cell and just hoping that our gut microbiome is set up, although 86% of us are walking around with an unhealthy, unbalanced gut, and oftentimes with a leaky gut, instead of wishing and hoping and praying that everything that we're taking in nutritionally that we can is actually getting to the core of ourselves and feeding our bodies the way that we need to, feeding our energies, our mental ability to handle stress, the repair that we need from just going all day long. We now have found a way to actually activate this pathway straight to the doorway, if you will, of the cell, literally rings the bell and flips on a switch on the inside and tells our body to do what it's naturally been God-given for us to do from birth. But those lights just start to dim at the age of 20. And so when I heard that, and I heard that this was an all natural product, and that because of the health of the cell, so literally healing from the inside out, because of that health of the cell, that what we were able to affect, that was actually, obviously all of our cells make up every single organ, every single, transaction basically that goes on in our body. When we can get to the core root of reducing inflammation, of boosting up the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of our cell. And now we're on to yet another activating product, where literally this something called NAD is a molecule found in our cell, feeds a family of sirtuins. And their sirtuins are likened to like a mama bear that goes in, fixes everything that's defunct within the cell and cleans up the outside and sends it on its merry way. Like, we have science that not only backs this up, that has been peer reviewed by many different organizations and institutions and universities like Duke and Texas Tech, American Heart Association. Oh gosh, there is just numbered as far as the people that wanted to do the research once they heard Dr. McCord, who initially found activation in the pathway of NRF2 activation. That was hit not only the community by wildfire, because they actually showed it on ABC primetime report, and John Quinones, I don't know if you guys remember him, but anyway, it was a show where they would go in to debunk companies, right? Well, that actually came back in our favor, in Dr. McCord's favor, and well, slightly, because all of a sudden they were able to show that John Quinones, who was a guinea pig, took his blood, actually reduced his age, by telomeres, he was likened to have the blood of an infant. And even though he was in his, I think, early 40s at the time. So it went like wildfire and everybody wanted it. And it sat on the shelves of GNC and some of the High Health and some of these other bigger companies, kind of likened to what Whole Foods were. But the story wasn't told. And all of a sudden they met, they couldn't figure out how to actually get the story. And that's how it turned into this sharing and where we are. And like I mentioned earlier, this gig economy of where we are helping others to really just share the story or bring people to information to watch a story like you're doing today. And so that whole concept, that business concept, coupled with the power of activation, is really what took our company LifeVantage to over, I think we're a $250 million company, $250 million company, yes. And we are really projected to do at least a billion within the next, several years, just based on the fact that testimony after testimony after testimony just keeps coming in. And in fact, one of our latest activation products, and honestly, we scrutinize every single thing that we're putting out there to make sure that it actually meets the criteria of activation. And if it's not activation, then it's supporting the activation process with some of our other like hair care and skin care and daily wellness and things to help to support that activation part of our main part of our company. And the latest that we've really dove into, and the hugest crave, and I thought, you know what, when I first heard about this, I thought, here we go, we're going to enter in a market that's already saturated and flooded, and it's collagen. And when I heard about the power of collagen and what it can do, and being somebody who has suffered from gut issues all of my life, and realizing that you can actually help your gut to repair in such a way that it's really helping us to feel better, think better, perform better, along, of course, with our joints and our skin and everything else. It blew me away. And it's all because of the powerful word called activation. So unlike any other products that are out there, and just like our collagen, we aim to first activate, second, maintain, this is specifically, second is to replenish or to repair, revive. And then third is to maintain our body's ability to actually produce higher qualities of, and not see the degradation of our collagen supply, as well as our glutathione in our other products, and our NRF2. The health of our mitochondria actually helps to sustain. It's literally like inviting you to eat the most healthiest salad every single day of your life, knowing that it's going to expedite all of the healing processes that you have done, and get to the core of our health, really. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's truly what we want to do, right? We want to live not only a little bit longer to enjoy all of the family that we are seeing come after us, but we don't want to do so without the mental faculties, without the strength and the ability and the energy to actually enjoy those moments, without gut health. So we are limited on all of the goodness that we can take in. All of these things really require our attention, and that is why we invited you to be here today. So I'm going to close this up with just a few pictures that I have enjoyed, because testimonies surely benefit. And I'm going to show them from our collection of those that have done a 30-day, 60-day, 120-day challenge in regards to our collagen. So let's see here. And I think we're on pictures. So Polly Grace, can you give me a thumbs up to make sure that you can see this? Okay, great. So here is just in 30 days alone, you can see the deep lines that have been improved, the texture and the plumpness, I guess, if you will, of her skin. You can definitely see the fine lines again in and around the face. Sorry, I'll put that up there. Here in regards to hair, you can see how on day 90, there's much thicker hair as well as more hair present. Again, this particular woman who is has lovingly shown us had a scar, and it really has improved over, I want to say this was 60 days of using our liquid activated collagen. This was somewhere that I definitely wanted to see some improvements as I'm on the 5th floor now. I'm 51, as my good girlfriend puts it. So, and then of course, the elasticity of our skin is highly improved, as well as even cellulite has been noted to smooth out and improve. This I love, and this is what I've seen more often than anything, is really a beautiful lightening of the skin, a very polished, and we just share that it's all about the glow. We're glowing up in regards to our collagen. So these are very demonstrable things that we can see and that we've enjoyed. You can see here that 58 days on collagen, the scar just looks like it's years old, which is great. And of course, the improvement of the ruddiness, the redness in her skin, even though the lighting is a little bit different, you can see kind of more of the different variation on the left there. And this was absolutely amazing. I want to say that this story was years of having this condition in her feet, and that was a friend. And after taking the collagen and being activated on the inside, within 30 days, she went to this picture. So absolutely amazing. Here's some others. Gentlemen definitely are benefiting from it as well. And this is a friend of ours. So yeah, and I just love, just the tone of his skin just looks beautiful. So that's about it. I don't know how to stop share. I want to say thank you so much for your time today. If you are, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the science, about the products, about possibly making some extra holiday cash, as basically I have learned over these last 4 years of how to turn my simple lifestyle into a business that helps to sustain my son and I, now that I've asked my then partner to leave and we are standing on our own and living out a life, going to Croatia, things that the company provides, that is just, I never thought was possible 4 years ago. And I'm so thankful. And if that's somebody that or somebody, or yourself in particular, that just strikes a chord, please do, and get back to the person that invited you to hear this information. We have a plethora of science that we can share with you, as well as information that will go a little heavier into that. But most of all, just a heart-to-heart connection and conversation is always best. So mahalo to all of you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and mahalo for joining me. Ahui ho.